What's up? Look who we got here. We got our secret mastermind in Park City, Utah. We got the top experts in the solar industry here, and we're going to answer some objections. So you guys want to join in? Be back in 60 seconds. Let's go. Let's go. We are live. Look what we got, Mr. Big Ben Mack here. And we are going to have some fun today. We got Mr. Danny Pessy in the house. Let's go. If you guys aren't pumped up right now to have some fun, we're going to
my heart's beating out of my chest. I'm so nervous.
We got Zach.
Mine really is.
What's up? If you guys look closely, you'll see Jake Hess right there. What up, Jake? So what we're doing today, baby, we want engagement from the audience. We want some objections. We're gonna have you get some objections answered for you guys. So jump in, say what's up. Why don't you put in where you are, what you're doing? You guys want to say what's up to the audience?
Yeah, dude, I got to get a quick plug. So I'm Zach Hillstead first. I'm a consummate student, lover of life, and all things becoming. Congrats for being here, focusing on yourself. Iron sharpens iron. Huge job. The race, it's simple. Become the type of person worthy to do the work, to have everything you want. It starts here. It's not in one day. It's day by day. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. Glad you're here.
Philly Smith wants to say, we got you. So we got objections coming already, baby. And we got, what's up, Zach?
I'll just, can we just give a few minutes to shout out this beautiful,
look at this guy. Look at this guy.
It is Mr. Ben Return. Mack here in the flesh.
Yes.
Damn, I'm getting a little uncomfortable.
Hey, Ben, go ahead. Say a little couple of words to the audience, baby.
I thought that. Thanks for what Zach said. Not about my body, but about you guys being here.
Well, hey, and this is because of Ben in the gym yesterday. See this?
That's true. We worked on that.
They were talking to me.
Anyway, yeah, no, thank you for being here. Hopefully what we do, actually not hopefully, it will help. We'll go through what works for us and what should work for you. So I think it's awesome that you guys are on here and taking time on a Sunday to grow. I'm happy to be here with this crew. We've had a good weekend so far. I'm thankful to be here.
There we got Mr. Big Pest to say some words to the audience before we start, baby.
Hey, it's Sunday. Good morning.
You just woke up. We woke him up for this.
I've been sleeping and I ate a Rice Krispie treat, so now I'm dizzy because of all the sugar.
Washed with kombucha.
And I drank some kombucha. So I'm ready to see whatever you guys are going to throw at me. Good morning. What do you guys do Sunday? Write in the comments what you're doing this Sunday. Did you go to church? Did you yell at your neighbor in a language you just made up? What are some things that you have done?
Bring it, baby.
Far? I want to know what you guys are doing Sunday.
All right, Jake, go ahead, man. What are we doing here? What's going on, bro?
Hey, what's up, everybody? We're bringing some new brands to the industry that you haven't seen yet. I got a whole bunch of beautiful minds here. Some of them come and left already, but we've had a really good time. We've had a lot of fun, and we've also done a lot of work. So we're happy to be here, and we're excited for you guys to see what's coming out next.
Yeah. So, hey, funny story. So, Felly Fells working EDC. So, I used to go to EDC back when it was in Los Angeles, and yeah, man, that was way back in the day. And then there was a big riot that happened, and someone got crushed, and then the LA canceled it and they moved to Vegas. So, yeah, EDC was a lot of fun. I don't go to those anymore. I like dubstep, and no one plays dubstep anymore, so I'm done with it.
All right, so let's get started. So go ahead, throw some objections in there. We got the masters in the solar industry right here to help you guys out, so throw some objections in. But I got one first. Want to say something, Zach?
I was just going to say, I'm just glad he was here because he got so nervous in preparation for this.
Mm-hmm.
in handling objections. No, seriously, we're all like getting ready to do push-ups and Danny's just chill. Walk me through your mindset of objections, because everybody looks at them differently. I see them as pleas for more value and more reasons to justify why we're even talking together. What's your mindset when you go through objections?
Well, dude,
Good question.
You know, if you're watching this right now, we talk about it as having professional like reflexes. If you can't answer things from a dead sleep, if someone can't wake you up and give you an objection, you can't answer it 3 different ways, then you're truly not a professional. That means you're just riding the wave of the industry, and you're riding the wave of like the easy market share. To be professional and get professional results, then you can get professional pay. So if you can really just at the spur of the moment rip something from the top of your head, build value, overcome objections, that's really what's going to separate you. And the thing is you don't have to sell yourself on it. The person you have to sell is your customer. So the problem is so many people just like, oh, I need to go study, I need to do that, yada, 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 I'm good enough. You go to a customer, he can tell the difference of a dude who's got his shit together and a dude who doesn't. And that's the thing is you get praised in public for the work you've done in private. So the thing is people will go and pick up their Netflix when they should be going and picking up a training manual. They should be going and watching a video series. And the thing is, you know, it's these little small choices that you make over a long period of time that really make a difference. And, you know, obviously the better that you can get, the more polish that you have, the people that are going to pick it up are your customers. So that when you're sitting there and they've talked to 5 people and they start asking you questions, and the way you're able to handle it and overcome their objections, that's going to build confidence in you. People think they want the lowest price, but they want the person that's most convicted on the product and offering. Because that's the thing is you want to buy from a professional. And not everybody wants the cheapest price. Those type of people, send them to the birds. The people that want the best value are going to find that in the way that you handle their concerns and their objections. And that's what's so cool about what we got going on right now is we want to hear.
And you've been doing this for a long fucking time too, right? Like you're still trying to get better. You're still trying to learn. You're still trying to pick up stuff, right? So you never stop learning.
So, I mean, I've done this for 15 years. And so obviously the product changes, but the interactions with the customer doesn't. You could put, you know, pest control in my hands. You could put whatever. And it's just the way that you handle certain things. And that's why so many people think that if they don't want to get professional at solar, or they don't want to put the work in because it's not a long-term thing, what they don't truly understand is solar might not be your long-term vehicle, but the way that you approach solar is. And if you do haphazardly approaches on how you train, how you drill, and how you rehearse, that skill set is going to carry on to whatever that you do for the rest of your life. So if it isn't your favorite thing in the world to do, practice like it is, and then when you do transition onto something else, you've built those muscles. And so that's why it's important.
Speaking of that, let's practice right now, baby. Let's go. Let's do this. So go ahead.
Sleep. I hope that made sense, guys. I just
no, we're good, bro. So go ahead, throw your objections in there. We'll get to them. I have some myself ready to go. So whoever wants to answer them, jump on in. But we have one question before we start. Who wants to answer? What's the best way to follow up with clients? This is not an objection. But who wants to answer? What's the best way to keep following up with clients?
I'll jump on that. Any and every way. Just be connected to them. If you're knocking doors, you go back to the house over and over again. Not an annoying way, but find a reason to be there. If you need to call them, then you call them. Email. I mean, multiple. There's so many mediums of contact now that you just want to use anything it takes to be in communication with them.
So I have a follow-up with that. That's probably one of the best answers I've heard. How do you know when it's progressing or not? And when to cut and focus on new opportunities or continue?
That's a good question. I think just like any conversation, you kind of feel where it's going. And if you're getting ghosted, then you got to figure out another way to communicate with them. I think Brent Attaway, he's got a line that he uses as magic response. I can't remember that. Sorry, Brent, if you hear this, but the magic response line where it's just a simple, hey, it's been a while since we've talked. Did you end up going solar? Something simple. That's not offensive, but also like sounds sincere and fair to, hey, let's not waste each other's time, but I'm also sincerely interested in helping you. So I think just regular conversation, if you can move it forward. And sometimes it's, you need to take a step back from the sales side and be a friend for a second so that they know that you care about them. People are interested in people that are, people that are interested are interesting, right? So if you actually care about them as a person, they're going to be willing to talk to you a little bit more.
Be genuine, huh?
Yeah.
Genuine helps there. All right, baby. So we got some objections. Go ahead and keep throwing them in there. We'll get to it. So let's go with Danny Pessy. You ready, baby?
I hope so, man. I'm still a little.
So this is not just live role play, guys. We're gonna go into it and help answer this objection for you guys. So the objection is, or question is, my roof is 15 years old. What if I need a new roof in the future?
Yeah, well, obviously, sir, you're obviously going to need a roof in the future. Let me ask you this. You bring that up for a reason. What's the main reason why you bring that up?
Worried about it. I think I put panels on there. It's going to be there for a long time, so I don't want to get a new roof later.
Absolutely. Well, the cool thing is with my proposal, I can show you a couple options, one with the roof and one without. Obviously, our guys are going to come take a look at it. If you're going to need a roof, that's one of the things you're going to have to do anyway. If you don't, we can wing it and see how it goes. But realistically, at the end of the day, it's going to be up to you if you want to be proactive about getting it done. If I were you in the situation, especially with the way we can finance the roof end with such low interest rates, it's one of those things is, hey, if it's not going to break the bank an extra $20-$30 a month, what the heck, let's throw it in there.
Let's put it in there, baby. What do you guys think? If you guys like it, go put it in the comments.
Can you hear that? Can you guys hear that? Throw up a Brazilian flag. If you,
Make it really complicated for them.
Please throw up the Brazilian flag if you can hear me okay.
Anybody want to follow up with that one? Get the next one.
I actually just add on that. Sometimes I'll just say, hey, listen, some of the people are going to need a new roof in 10 years, but they take the savings or some of the savings from, depending on what market you're selling in. But, they take that savings over 10 years and they'll help pay for the new roof from that. So you don't necessarily have to do it right now if you don't want to, but if you want to and you have a roofer you like or want us to help you find one, that's easy. We work with tons of good roofers all the time.
I love that. Something to note is what he did is you want to get everybody on the boat. So your response, you want to keep it as broad as possible so as to not eliminate or put anybody to feel uncomfortable as to your response. That was huge. And so you're giving them an either or and then progressing into a transitional or other follow-up question.
Yeah, either way we can get it done for you.
Beautiful. We got some objections rolling in, so we're going to get right into it here, baby. So we got Chelsea Elise with a question for one of these handsome guys. Let's go with Mr. Jake Hess, baby. Here we go. Jake Hess. The question is, what was the hardest objection any of you, it's anybody, but go focus on Jake here, faced, and how did you overcome it?
So one of the hardest objections for me is an older couple said, hey, what happens? We're about to die. Both of us are about to die. What do we do with this in about 5 years? That's a really tough one to answer. Or something similar around the terms of death is, hey, this house is in a trust. The house belongs to us, right? In the future, but the documents say that they're actually a beneficiary and they're not the actual owner. Sometimes that person has already passed away, but the documents haven't gone through. One of the hardest things I've had to do is collect a certificate of death. And unfortunately, those circumstances, I think I've seen that maybe 3 times over the last 10 years. And unfortunately, you just need to handle it like you would with your own family members. Handle it with care. Handle it, handle it the way that you would talk to your own mother. So empathize with them a little bit. Say, hey, this is an uncomfortable situation. I'm sorry. I'm just here to kind of talk about solar, but I've had something similar happen to me. I know that the struggles that you're probably going through. In order to get this through, those bankers, those horrible people, they need that certificate of death so that we can prove this is yours, and then we can get you the system that you want. Just empathize with the homeowners a little bit on the scenario and get the things that you need in a delicate way.
Can I add to that? I love that. And while that's more sorry.
You don't know this guy. He's such a good dude.
It's awesome.
That obviously is more the exception than the rule. To level up last year, participated in Knockstar and then Knockstar United. I learned the toughest objection to overcome is trust. And the number one character trait of top reps is belief. And so trust, how do you build trust? I think first it starts in your mind. You see yourself as the professional. No one's ever heard a pitch from you. You just got off a plane. Sales are easy. This is what you do. You are God's gift to them because you have the right company, the right product, you're on the right team, and you're going to put more blood, sweat, and tears into any of this. So it starts between the ears, which is huge. From there, they don't want to feel like they're the guinea pig. They don't want to feel pushed. So I always let them know whenever I'm looking to buy something myself, I'm a consumer also. I'm looking for somebody who has expert product knowledge and can explain this extremely simply. And I will bring that up, or I will talk about that. And a lot of times for specifically with credibility and trust, that helps a lot.
Yeah, something to add. I know we want to go through specific objections, but I was thinking about it when Pessy was talking too. But I think the way to approach, for me, the way that I feel like I've had success in approaching objections or responding to objections is just from a logical and sincere standpoint. Most slick talking people can come up with some foofy distraction over here and then move on with the sale. But I think if you really actually let them know you heard them, internalize it, even repeat the question back or their concern back. So it's not like you're concerned about your roof because you don't want to have to pay for a new roof in 15 years. They know you heard them and they know you're sincere. For me, I've been able to turn objections into referrals, because typically when people are calling me off a referral, they're saying, yeah, my friend said he had 1 million questions for you and you like slowly and calmly went through everything for him. So I have to work with you. Like, you can turn these objections into more and more money instead of being concerned or scared about them.
So something that is very important for you guys to understand, all of us on the screen right now, we do know stuff that a lot of people in the sales industry don't. In order for us to come over objections, we have to know what's going to happen 5 or 6 steps ahead. So if we are going to have a hold on an account, we already know that the hold is going to come up. And unfortunately, this is why I brought up the certificate of death. I've already been through this and I know what's going to happen. The roof, we need to know what's going to happen in these contracts. We have to know what's going to happen in the future so that we know how to overcome the objections now, so that we don't have to keep going back to the homeowner and having the same complicated conversations, making us look less professional, like Danny was talking about, and just making these accounts go through super smooth so we can get the referrals like my friend Ben does really well.
Man, these guys are super smart. You guys agree with me? Go ahead, put in the comments. My gosh.
If you agree, put the Nigerian flag in the comments.
We already got a Brazilian flag right here, bro. Look at this.
Not yet.
All right.
Hemisphere.
We're gonna keep moving along, baby. So whoever wants to answer it, jump in. Here it is from Facebook user. I don't want the debt. I want to get a new car soon.
Get it.
Hey, dude, I don't want debt either, but unfortunately, you got to look at it. There's 2 different types of debt: good debt and bad debt.
Yes.
So the thing is realistically, you're going to be paying this monthly expense no matter what. So you got to look at the pros versus the cons. People don't buy solar because they save $20 or $30 per month. They buy solar because they save money over the next 25 years. Let me show you the pros and cons, and you can decide whether or not it's worth buying the car and taking a short-term gain, or looking at solar and having a long-term gain. So that's the big thing we're going to take a look at here in a second. And like I said, at the end of the day, if you think a car is a better investment, go with it. If you think solar is a better investment, I'll show you now what the government's doing to get you to do it faster rather than procrastinating, because there is an end on the tax credit. There is going to be a huge increase in gas prices going forward. And especially if you're buying the wrong car, you might shoot yourself in the foot for not looking at solar first, especially if you're going to be getting an electric car. Is that what you're looking into, or are you going to be getting a gas one?
And you guys need to remember that a lot of homeowners buy things based off of emotion. So sometimes they might be emotionally connected to that vehicle more than they are solar. You as a sales professional needs to take that emotion that they have for the vehicle and kind of dig into their soul a little bit and find out what those emotions are and why they really want it, and hopefully reposition that emotion towards solar, right?
I got actually 2 things. Thank you, Pessy. So on that, I would also maybe bring up, like, yeah, no problem. If you don't want debt, there's probably another way you may or may not have heard about: power purchase agreement. Give them the option to understand there's no debt there if they're really that concerned about debt. Or maybe spin it, that they are open to solar maybe, but they also want this car. I'd say, cool. There's a ton of families that go out and they save, $100, $200 or whatever it is a month by having solar, and then you can help that for your next car payment. So you actually kind of get both out of doing solar.
I love asking them, like, why are you getting a car loan? That question is beautiful, because they're like, think about, well, car loans are usually upside down. They're not usually the most exciting loans you get, right?
Yeah.
They still get it because it's better than taking a taxi, throwing that money away and getting nothing in return. So you can literally push them to same exact thing with solar. Why keep throwing your money away? Put it towards an investment.
And something that's super old school, not as old as chalk street sheets where you just do an X and hope it doesn't rain.
I remember those.
But name lists, and whatever way you choose to approach it, similar to Danny, I'll bet he would have something in front of him with 5 to 10 neighbors that he's actually taken care of, something about them and the reason they went solar. And then you use that to build credibility, talk through that, and that is A-miling or overcoming before they bring it up.
A-miling, that's what he's talking about, baby. Eminem.
That's right. Objections, or at least addressing it, and then being able to build in credibility as you transition into the next appropriate step.
Yeah, specifically on that, sorry, I know we're trying to get to specific objections, but hopefully all this stuff helps you. You can frame your objections right. But speaking of that, like every story, I guess I was thinking this goes without saying, but every story and objection response that you give should be tied to a story of a family that you set up, like you just said about Pessy. Like, it should be, well, this other family had the same concern because
This other referral.
this other family that was referred to me
Yeah, you got
had
it.
the same concern because XYZ, and they ended up deciding, hey, we can save $100 a month on our electric bill, and we'll take that and apply to our car, so we can even get the other options on the car that we wanted. Would you guys like that? Whatever it is.
You can see the value in that, can't you? And Oscar Luna he adds one before he talks about the benefit. He'll say, besides saving $5,000 on the total cost because we're a full provider, not a third party, what they really liked was go into it and then transition. And it's really smooth, not buying pressure, totally low key. And then you can go into it, adding 2 points of value.
Speaking of going into it, we're going to the next objection right away because we got a bunch of comments rolling in here, baby.
Yes, if you're
Let's
digging
go.
this so far, throw in your favorite Spanish word in the comments. Your
Hola.
favorite word in Spanish.
Non-swear word.
Non-swear word.
Oh,
Let's
we got
keep
some
it clean.
flags. We do have some flags in there.
Yeah, we got flags, bro. Look at this. That's only the first 2 we see. We'll get a bunch more. All right. Next objection. Who wants to jump in? Whoever. Let's go. My bill is like $100. It's not a huge pain point to go into a $40,000 loan to save 10, 15 bucks a month.
Hey, why don't you take this one? You hit it.
My bill is like $100. It's not a huge pain point. So the way I answer this is really comes down to over years, adding the math, right? This is not just about $10, $15. It's about thousands of dollars over time. And I really just break down the math. Solar is not valuable on its own. It could be not valuable at all because if you have the wrong net metering, the wrong agreement with the utility, but if you have a really expensive utility and you have an amazing net metering agreement, the number's right there. You add up the math over the years, even $100 payment could add up to $20,000 in the next 5, 10 years. So this is not $10, $15 a month. This is thousands of dollars savings over the years, which is you're making money for your family.
Another option, if I can jump in. I had a family that actually John Raymond that was referred to me 2 years prior than when I did solar for him. He never called me because his bill was only $80 a month. He called me 2 years later and said, Ben, I'm calling you because my bill's gone up $40 in 2 years.
There you go.
I'm not using any more power. So he didn't necessarily do it for the savings. He did it because he said, Ben, the rates of power, the percentage of increase on power is going up faster than my retirement income. And I want to be able to stabilize and protect myself till I'm dead. He was like 80.
Yeah, so I don't know if you saw me on my calculator. I just did the math.
That was Bumble. What are you talking about?
Grinder? What was it?
That was.
It was Grinder. No, if you sell that system at $4 a watt, that gives you 10,000 kilowatt hours in a year divided by 12 months, gives you 833 kilowatt hours divided by $100, means you're selling at 12 cents a kilowatt hour. And there's plenty of people that I've seen in these comments that are actually selling in markets that don't have a saving at all, right? You can build value on systems without having a saving. So I would recommend getting with those people. Some of the things that I've heard people do is future proofing. We all know utilities are going up,
Yes.
right? You're not buying solar today because you're saving money today. You're buying solar as an investment. Like we all say, you're buying it as an investment. So you're buying solar to protect yourselves from inflation and from rates going up in the future, right?
What side of the street do you want to be on? The ones complaining about the rate increases or the ones like, what rate increases?
Yeah, I've had plenty of people that are like, hey, and I'll say like, well, here's the thing. My little sister bought their house, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. They were like, Ben, we want to do it, but I mean, our bill's like $60 a month. I said, okay, well, are you going to pay for power either way? Are you guys going to use candles? Yeah, we're going to pay for power. Okay, well, even if you're not saving any money right now, one, you're protecting yourself, like Jake said, against the future. And if you're going to pay for power either way, you might as well have power that's cleaner, might be a little bit cheaper, but at least it's price protected.
You never know. They might care about the environment too. So see
Yeah.
about that.
One last one. So this is what you do. You tell them, Mr. Customer, the people aren't buying solar because they're saving a ton of money per month. They're doing it because they save over a 25-year period.
Yes.
Now, let me ask you this. What was the main reason why you bought your home? So you redirect it to 2 or 3 things that they could rent, but they buy instead. So I always reference the house. I reference their car. And then I just be a silly little goose. I reference their television. And I say, Mr. Customer, are you renting your television? No, that sounds ridiculous. Well, that's the same thing is you're going to feel the same way about renting your power after we get done here. Now, the sad part is I am not a magic man. I don't have a time machine. If I was to fly into the future 5 years from now and show you the savings, it'd be a lot more attractive to 10 to 15 bucks a month. But unfortunately, I don't. And the government incentives aren't going to be around then. So the thing is, the only thing that we're looking at is time. So the big reason why people are biting the bullet and get it out of the way now is because we're taking time out of the equation. So let's go ahead and look at the numbers and take care of the big picture here, because the small picture isn't going to make sense. Does that sound fair?
That's a great reminder on tax credits starting to step down, just putting a little bit of like real honest urgency and a little scarcity in the explanation.
Hey, while he's going to the next one, I wanted to tell you guys something a little bit more of a high level that we haven't gone over yet. You guys notice the circle that we're in right now. We have Joe and Pessy and Mack and Zach. The circles that you operate in solar are actually going to help you with objections far more than you trying to go out on the doors and figure it out yourself. Join in circles like this. Find people that are really good at what you do. Join your circles. And what do you see there?
There's a Brazilian flag.
Yeah, we got a bunch of them, baby. I'm not putting it in. We got a bunch of flags,
put them in there. Yes.
Hey, find a circle that you're going to learn from and grow.
There's a bunch of comments.
And the Nigerian flag, they put the Nigerian. Yeah, they put the Nigerian flag.
Is that a nipple?
All right, who's got the Spanish word?
Yo, guys, we're watching the comments. Get in there, baby.
Oh my God, that's my mom.
Hey, so what Jake was saying to close that loop, there's
Sorry, I got
power
distracted.
through proximity. There is power. And let me tell you how that showed up in my life. Last January, I had just committed to doing a basically get in shape 75 hard type thing.
Yeah.
I'm getting back on the wagon of leveling up. I'm like, Danny, help me. Sure, I got you 6 weeks in. Boom. Awesome. January, I'm in Park City. A year ago, almost close to within 2 months, show up, learn, level up, connect. 2 weeks later, I'm in Texas, and here we are because of wanting to learn. And your network, it really is your net worth. Not only that, what they're teaching us right now is taking all of their decades of combined learning, and you get it. So you don't have to go through that. I call that paying the dummy tax. Don't do it. Bypass it. Lean on others. Guess what? It's an open book test.
Yes, don't pay your
Learn from
taxes.
others. And this is the guy that's going to get you there.
NFT,
And
baby.
did I mention he's our male model for what month? May or June? Which one was it?
I
Yes.
don't know.
All right.
Speaking of wanting to learn more, we got an ops question. Anybody want to answer an ops question
Jake's
here?
great at that. Yeah.
All right, here we go, Jake.
Maybe.
Maybe.
That's not what it is.
How do I get my installs quicker, man?
Oh my goodness, you guys just hit oh my goodness, that's a tough one.
This is a hard one.
Hey, there's a lot that goes into this. Your installers, they have a job. Their job is to keep you guys happy, but they also have to be profitable, right? So when installers get a big influx of volume, they don't necessarily want to bring in new crews to go and make your timelines go down faster, because sales reps, once they sell a lot of accounts, they want to go on vacation. They want to hop on a plane and they want to go to Hawaii for the next month, while the installer is left wondering where in the world did all of these sales go. Also, they go and get more sales orders. They go get more salespeople, right? And these salespeople just keep selling. And if they grow and scale to the salespeople, and the sales dive and dip like they do in November or they do in December, right? If these things happen, then the installers are actually putting themselves in a lot of trouble. So sometimes you have to stay loyal. Sometimes you have to ride with the waves. You have to go with the flow, and you have to have a little bit of empathy from the other side. Something else that can make your timelines go faster is knowing what all of the holds are. Understanding understanding electrical, understanding the different adders so that you can put the appropriate prices in your contracts and prevent holds from happening. And so I'm going to give you guys all the really tough answer here. It is actually on the sales side that makes your installation side go faster. It has nothing to do with the installers for the most part. I mean, if you're riding them a little bit, and you're keeping them updated and sending emails and they're not responsive, they're not helping, now we can have a conversation. But if you're not doing everything you can possibly do to understand and learn their side, then the blame's kind of on you.
The fortune is in the front end, baby.
100%. To get better outputs, you get better inputs. And one thing Jake has told me and taught is it starts at the proposal level. And what he does, he's put together a series of questions to make sure that your proposal is accurate, reflects exactly what they want, what's important to them. The Solar Academy has them. What? It's right here.
Well, except for you got a little bit of, there we go.
There we go.
So just
Like-
just a shameless plug. But yes, one KPI I think we should start tracking is proposal to installs. But also it's huge. I also think that there's things we can do to ensure we better understand their situation, usage, all of those things, what the future potentially could hold, to make sure that the proposal reflects a more accurate depiction, and from there get better outputs.
I like that. If that resonated with you,
Go ahead, do it.
drop the Mongolian flag. Drop the Mongolian flag
Hey, do you know
in the
how to say
comments.
yes in Mongolian? Not. You know how to say no?
No. Ah,
Look at it. We're learning something else
really?
today,
I want
baby.
I think he
Mack to answer
made
a little
that
bit of this. Mack owned an installation company. So
All right, go ahead.
Yeah,
Mr.
actually,
Big
I was
Mac.
thinking something you can do is just be aware of electrical. If you haven't gone on the Solar Academy trainings or have somebody in your office teaching you about how to avoid MPUs or be able to kind of work around issues that are, I guess just electrical training. I don't want to get into the weeds with it, but electrical training will help you to avoid MPUs. You also could knock in area if you want, unless whoever asked this question, if you're talking about like markets or counties, cities, you want to look for same day permits, things like there's just like basic things you can do to get a quicker turnaround. But electrical is probably one of the biggest things I've seen sales reps get frustrated and angry, and then they try to rush the install company. Will they put panels on ahead of time, before the MPU? It's like, yeah, maybe not. But the point is you can learn how to get around an MPU or expedite that process. That's where you're going to save a lot of money, and you'll get more customers because you can call out an MPU where maybe the guy or girl before you that was selling it didn't recognize it was going to be an MPU or an RMA. I don't know, depending on what market you're in.
But Ben, where would one go to learn about electrical?
Hey, one thing he did say that I want to hit on a little bit for you guys. Those permit times are different for every single city. I have actually, because of the position that I'm in, I have witnessed this hundreds of times. Sales reps say, but with this company, it got installed in 2 weeks, and with this one, it took 2 months. I'm telling you guys right now, there's a city that might take 6 weeks to permit the system, and there's another one that could be over the counter, and they could actually be 2 streets away from each other. And a lot of people don't look at all of the variables when they're looking at installation speed time. There are so many variables involved that you would have to understand those and how they work mechanically in order to get your install times done faster.
Yeah, definitely.
Guys,
And it's all stuff you can learn. Like this isn't some secret thing that only the install companies know.
Yeah.
Like that's how Jake and I learned it, by asking questions 10 years ago and figuring out what triggers an MPU. Okay, how do I avoid that? Can we sell one less panel? Can we do something else? Put up a sub panel instead to divert some of the backfeeding capability. That's all stuff that you can learn. Just get on Solar Academy and check it out.
I thought you said it was the pheromones in your sex band. That's what it was.
These guys are dropping nuggets. If you guys are watching the replay, rewind and watch the last 5 minutes again. You get some more value, baby. What we got? All right, we got Cheyenne Cullum throwing a little objection in. You ready, guys?
Oh, she's one of my favorites.
Yeah, she
South
says,
Carolina.
I want to buy land in a few years. I'll just do solar later.
Don't do it. Buy it now.
Easy enough.
In a few years, do it. Okay.
I'll just do solar then when I buy land.
Well, see, Mr. Customer, is this property going to buy electricity over the next 25 years? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So realistically, if you could find an alternative to what you're doing now that will be more appealing for you and future customers, wouldn't it make sense to go this route? Most people think this is a bigger decision than it really is. At the end of the day, unless you're going to get candles like my last customer, Ben Mack, did because he had bad credit and could afford solar panels, so he went back to candles. He actually felt, it'd be more advantageous to just bite the bullet and get this over with. Because unfortunately, when it comes to solar and everything that's going on in the world, it's not a matter of if you're going to get this done, it's when, and each property is going to get it. So let's bite the bullet, take time out of the equation, and let's just get this thing rocking.
I like to ask the homeowner, do you want the tax credit or do you want the next homeowner to get it? Up to you.
Hey, there's ways to handle these objections, and you do need to know those, but there's also a human element to this whole thing, right? We have to empathize sometimes. Land investment is not a bad investment because those actually appreciate in value as well.
Hopefully.
So the objection that she brought up here, when we bring the human element into things and understand where these homeowners are coming from, and we actually have the ability not to overcome objections, but actually to agree with the homeowner and say, hey, that's actually a sound investment. I truly believe in solar, and here's why, and here's how I think I can help you, but I'm not going to try to compete with land. If you need to choose one or the other, I get it, right? Empathizing with the homeowner and understanding that could actually sell you more accounts, not because you got that one, but because the next homeowners you meet with are going to understand that you're that type of person. And like Ben did earlier, he referred to somebody that he was working with previously. You get to tell that story to other homeowners, and they get to understand you on a more human level than just those blood-sucking salespeople.
Oh,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Something I say is like, hey, listen, if you want to wait, that's totally fine. Or this house is going to need power for the next 3 years, like Pessy was saying. And then the next family, when they move in, they're going to need power. So house is going to need power anyway. And whether you do solar or the family after you does solar, it's going to get it. So you might as well get the tax benefits, like Joe said, and the immediate benefits yourself for the next 3 years. And then if something crazy happens, you don't buy in a few years, say it's 5, 6, 7 more years down the road that you end up actually buying, the market changes and you decide you can't afford it or you don't want to afford it, you have a job change, at least you're still getting immediate benefits by having solar now.
We have a bunch of more comments. You guys have a few more minutes? You
I
a little bit more?
I actually do have to bail, but this is amazing.
Okay. We got a couple more minutes for you guys. Throw it in before it's too late. Here we go. Facebook user says, I never signed any. Oh, this is a little outside the box objection. This is a little creative one, so be ready. I never signed anything until I communed with the universe. I'll need 24 hours to do that. Can we meet at 5 p.m. tomorrow?
I actually agree with you. I've been doing this breathing method. Have you heard of Wim Hof?
Wim Hof, yeah.
Awesome. That said, I'd have to know a little bit more about your situation to see if it even works. People do this typically for one of 3 reasons: save money, take care of the environment, or keep the lights on and the kids warm. Heaven forbid the power goes out. For you, what would you say makes the most sense?
Save money, man. That's what I'm doing this week.
Okay, and Danny, he was saying more because he wanted to go green. That's really interesting. Is there a reason you say save money?
Yeah, because
And
I
then
care
would-
about that green.
And then I would continue. And that's probably more so a smoke screen or a person you probably don't want to do business with on the spectrum. So just take it and keep going.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of times that's just, I would just ask anything in particular that you want to think about. Yeah, I have a friend that wants me to call their solar guy. Oh, okay. And then you can go into that.
But in the interim, one thing to think about is how do you position yourself? I'm a professional problem solver and problem finder. I'm emotionally disconnected from the outcome because I first need to understand if it's a fit for them, but I'm there to add value and be of service. When I position myself that way and everything comes out as if that's how I really feel, I'm not a threat. When I'm not a threat, they open up. When they open up, they bond with me emotionally, try to find ways to do business and get all of their friends referred to me as well.
Yep.
All right. So the next one is in between objection and condition. So this is kind of a little tricky. You can guys answer the way you want to, but I think Mr. Pessy should go first. Objection. I'm only paying $40 a month. My electric bill is way low compared to going solar. Why should I go solar?
Yeah, it's the same one that we talked about earlier. It's just,
Yeah.
you don't self-price.
Let me actually.
Well, it can be a condition too, right? Like maybe that homeowner doesn't go solar. You just take it away from them and get a referral.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, I was actually going to go back real quick on that last one.
Okay.
What was that? There was something I was.
Because I think,
thinking of.
Zach, weren't you
Oh,
praying to the universe last night?
Commune to the
He was
universe.
definitely communicating
When
to
do
the
I
universe.
not-
He was communicating with everybody in the universe and the universe.
Wow, there's a lot that happened here last night.
Let me actually, one thing, just again, like Jake and I both kind of said several times about being sincere and authentic with people and actually caring about them. When somebody says, I'll need 24 hours to do that, can we meet tomorrow at 5? My first response would probably be like, yeah, we can do that. That's no big deal. First, validate like that's something that they feel is important. So sure, we can meet tomorrow. That's no big deal. And then go into the objection. That way they feel like they're heard. And then you can go ahead, you like pacify their need of like no pressure by saying, yeah, we can meet tomorrow, whatever. That's no big deal. Or you can say, well, I couldn't do it tomorrow at 5 because I already have 2 other referral families at night. But if you're available like in the early afternoon, then I can probably do that. But anyway, you were saying you were concerned because you wanted to sleep on it or whatever, and then go into the.
Yeah, they're just not interested enough. Build more value, build more urgency, and then keep talking. And then eventually that stuff just goes away. That's what it is. That's the bird's eye view. You dive too much into that, you turn an objection or you turn a condition into an objection.
Well, and it's a Pessyism. If you're not interesting, they're not interested. And why do people buy? For the benefits of what they're going to have or because of the pain. So they're dissatisfied with either what they have or don't have. The pain is what drives the emotion to moving forward. So keep thinking about
Hey,
that.
what did you say, Pessy? You turn a what? A condition into
An objection. Yeah.
What does that mean?
So it's like not a real. So if you heard that, you don't want to turn a condition into objection. It's like, oh, I'm busy right now. You don't want to like, oh, where are you going? All that type of stuff that dives into it. And then it's like, all right, now this guy's questioning me on my reality. Now I'm going to fight back. You just blow over it. Oh yeah, absolutely. That makes sense. Because I always compare it to like, if you were selling your mom solar, would she have all of the objections these customers give you? No, your mom trusts you. So a lot of that stuff is just nonsense. You just have to build more value. So that's the gauge that I look at is how interested are they versus how much do they really trust me? If the trust is there, I built enough value. The urgency that gets dove into will get them to make the decision then and there.
We have an objection from Mr. Ray on YouTube, and he wants to know, I don't want to run my credit. What do you do when a homeowner says, you know what, I just don't want to run my credit? How do you overcome that?
You want to run your sister's credit instead?
Yeah.
That was a joke. I do not sell like that.
Yeah, if people
I do
want
not
to,
sell like that. Never have.
well, I took that out of your playbook from 2005. Just kidding. No, it's the same thing. If they don't want to run credit, they don't feel the value. It's like, bro, if they want something, they're going to do it. So just look back and say, all right, build more value. You got to tell 3 to 5 stories of pain in the grid. And if you tell 3 to 5 stories of pain in the grid and then 2 to 3 word tracks of urgency, that's typically going to get them to the point where they're a little bit more excited to go.
Hey, Pessy, when's the best time to plant a tree?
Oh, 20 years ago.
20 years ago, right? He taught me that at one of his conferences that I went to, and I loved it. You have to plant seeds on that credit. You have to do it in the beginning, say, hey, typically people want to finance these things. We check credit, but that's going to come a lot later. Let's make sure this makes sense for you. That way you can kind of get those things out of the way early, right? And sometimes homeowners actually throw things out at you that you can't necessarily overcome. And I promise you right now, the best objection is to just let them sit on it. So if the homeowner says, hey, I don't want to check my credit, you just go, okay, well, we're here. We're at that bridge. So, and I don't say it like that. It looks more like this. I go, that's how it works if you want to do a loan, any loan actually. And that's, how do you want to proceed? And if you ask them that question, the pressure, all of that pressure that they just tried to put on you, you just put it right back on them. And it's up to them to tell you no, right? And sometimes there's a lot of power in that if you can use it properly.
And Pessy, when's the second best time to plant the seed?
Today.
Today, baby.
Before we get to the next question, guys, I have a very, very important announcement.
Announcement, everybody.
I need everybody to post. If you're paying attention, having a good time, throw a North Korean flag
North Korea!
in the comments. North Korea, right now. North Korea. I want to see
baby.
it. North Korea. Who is putting the
Who
North
is putting it in
Korean?
there?
Who is it? Okay, we got the
You can say goodbye to the people.
we got the
Hey.
Mongolian. Zach's got to
I
go.
bid you adieu. Back to the lab. Good job. Congrats on being here. Last year, I spent over 6 figures in investing in myself. Power through proximity. Scared
There it
the
is.
bejeebers out of me 5 years ago. Now it's like, what am I going to do next? Invest in yourself. Iron sharpens iron. Go get it.
Yes, heck yeah, baby.
Thanks, Zach.
Thanks, Zach. North Korean flags are popping up left and right. Now we're talking.
Other flags.
That isn't a North Korean flag.
Nice
Who put that
try.
on there? You silly goose. We need some North Korean flags, guys.
That's
Oh,
not North
that's
Korea.
Mexico. We don't want Mexico.
That's not what we're
We
talking
want
about.
North Korea. Put on the North Korean
We
flag.
got,
Oh, it's a
racing.
finish line. Oh my
All
God.
right.
North
Speaking
Korea, that's
of
where
finish
most
line-
of our solar panels come from.
Yeah.
Speaking of finish line, we only have a couple more guys. Look, more flags coming in. Colin Flaherty, you want to throw it in? Is Puerto Rico there? All right. So we have 2 more objections that we're done, boys. So this one is about when they ask about loans options and they want to avoid any dealer fees. If that even comes up, how do you handle that? How do you handle dealer fees if it comes up? How, finance charges.
Quiet.
So how do you handle the dealer fees if it comes up? Obviously, it's not something that comes up too often. But
Yeah.
if the homeowner is asking about
You're
it,
not supposed to even legally disclose the dealer
Depending
fees,
on the-
so you kind of want to be smart about it. If they say, what if you pay cash and then you take the dealer fee out? Always up the PPW so it matches the same. So then I actually lost a deal because I didn't do that, and then the customer was like, "Hey, why is there such a discrepancy? I thought it was only 6% interest and 2% whatever interest," and they're like, "Oh crap, I'm actually paying a lot more than just 2% interest. There's a dealer fee in there." Then you had to backtrack. So I just try to keep it all the same so they don't overcomplicate the situation.
I just think dealer fees are great. I think Jake might agree with this. It's the option that helps us get monthly payments as low as they are. Without it, we can't even maybe not even be able to go solar. So I would say it's more options we have. Do you want to pay cash? You don't? All right, here's some other options we have. And this is going to be the different ways it works. That's the way it is, like Jake said, right? You guys don't want anything else on that
Yeah,
one?
dealer fees are just an evil necessity. It's like if you want to drive a car, you got to put gas in it. Just how it works.
So Jeff Green wants to say, why North Korea, Danny Pessy?
North Korea, because we cannot hate on any individual. We have to give North Korea the respect it deserves. They need the respect. To all the people in North Korea watching right now.
All right, last objection here, and we got it from Thorn Alexander Green. He wants to know, my kids don't want it. I do, but they will make me cancel. They don't want me. They don't even want to speak with you. How do you get those kids who are not even want to be part of the conversation? That's to me a real hard objection for me too.
Get it, Mackie.
Yeah. I would probably dive into it a little bit more, just saying, okay, is there, and I tend to do this with a lot of objections, say, oh yeah, I can understand that. Kids sound like great kids. They want to make sure you're not getting bamboozled by some, sales rep that shows up at the house, whether it's door to door or through some, scam ad or something like that. I respect that. It's kind of the same way around my parents. Do you think it would give a little more peace of mind if they got to see everything in writing? Yeah, that might make sense. Okay, cool. And is there any other particular reason that they don't want you to have solar, or is it? And they might say, well, they've heard it's expensive. They come out with the real objection. If it just really comes down to that the kids want to protect their parents and have control, great, meet with them. Yeah, no problem. If they're close, I can go. I've got a referral over in XYZ area. Figure out where they live, and then just let them know you're going to be in that area anyway. And you can swing by. It's super simple.
So I have a rule of thumb with seniors. Great job, Mack Attack. If they have access to their own checking account and credit cards, that means they can make financial decisions. The second indicator I look for is how far their family lives from them. If they have family members who are in town or out of state, that's a huge indicator. If they're out of state, that's more of a situation where they don't want their parents to give away their inheritance. If they live local, they genuinely care about their parents. So that's another objection, that's a concern. The other one is do their kids come and visit them at a certain time? And so if their kids come to visit them once a week or 2 to 3 times a week, I'll then come back and try to sit down with the kids there as well, after trying to figure out if the parents can pull the trigger on getting it to there as well. And then the last one is if anyone has power of attorney or makes decisions for them. That is the 4 main characteristics I look for when selling a senior. Because a lot of times you think of a senior citizen, they're like, oh, my kids try to tell me what to do, but I'm still in charge. So if they're living on their own and it's not assisted living, they have no one to help them, they might still have that pride of ownership and pride of purchase. So a lot of that could be smokescreens, but if it is legit, like I said, ask them those qualifying questions, set the appointment with the kid, and then try to have a conversation with them and try to find out if they genuinely are looking for their parents' best interest, or they don't want anything making the transition from the house that they own to the kids harder, because that is a serious concern. I don't want to mess with it. My kids are taking it over.
Dropping nuggets. You guys like what you're hearing? Go put in the comments. Thanks, Danny. Thanks, Mac. Thanks, Jake. I think we got one here for Jake. Bless you, Jake, with the heart emojis.
Jake. Your mom is on Facebook. Hell yeah.
Go ahead, keep throwing it. All right, guys.
Wait, no, that's my mom. What the hell is going on? It's your mom.
Hey, Miss Pessy.
Damn it.
Last one. I know that was the last one's the last one, but this last one, I want to make sure we get this last one in because they seemed really into it here.
Thank you guys, for engaging here.
Yeah, thank you guys. Last one. And this is for any of us. How do you guys present your numbers to the clients? It's a kind of a general, open-ended question, nothing specific.
Go ahead.
I have a checkpoint. I have to make sure they know what's in it for them, what's in it for us. I do 3 to 5 value build stories. I build 2 to 3 stories, word tracks of urgency, and then I get them to understand that this is the reason why people are going solar. And then when the interest is at its highest peak, I go over the proposal, show them the comparison, what it looks like before solar and what it is going to look like after solar. And I show them the numbers and I say, hey, what do you think is fair? What do you like about what I've said so far?
So I show them the numbers before I show them the proposal. I know most people use the proposal to show numbers, but I can tell you right now, the proposals are typically overwhelming for homeowners, and they're a crutch that salespeople use because they don't know the numbers well enough. Ben and I can actually, and a lot of the people we've helped, we can actually calculate the numbers before we even get a proposal and be accurate within $5 of a monthly payment and even 2 panels on the roof. There's ways to do that. And so I like to show them the numbers, then have the proposal generated. If you show them the numbers on a white line piece of paper with a pen, then they can learn it with you and understand, and it feels safer for them to ask questions rather than be like, all right, here's what we got for you. Look at this one. There's a picture of your house. Look at these numbers. This means savings. This graph shows how much. It's just too much. And so doing it simple with the pen and paper can actually be very powerful for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are like having the slicks and the proposals and stuff like that, and that can work. I used them years ago when I was doing alarm systems, but I think literally, like Jake and I, you could do it on a cocktail napkin and make it super simple. All of us that have been in sales long enough know that you want to keep it as simple as possible for people. But bottom line is you want them to get to imagine. You get them imagining because the mind can't tell, past, present, future. It feels the same feeling. So you want to get them to imagine the savings or the benefits that they're looking for now, and then that'll help create the motion to take action now.
That was beautiful. I appreciate you guys doing this. If you guys are
Yes.
happy, say what's up. We got a couple more happy comments really quick.
Puerto Rican flag in the
Puerto
comments.
Rican.
We're done, guys. This is we're wrapping it up. If
Hey.
you liked what we saw, the Puerto Rican flag. I saw someone shout out, big fan of Puerto Rico.
The bless you, Jake, though, I want to make sure that wasn't because they were saying bless you. They were saying because you sneezed.
Hey.
So I want to make sure that's what's out there. You sneezed. Bless you, Jake.
Well,
But
I'm-
thank you for that, though.
I'm relieved that wasn't actually my mother, so that's good to go.
And then Nick 30 said, Danny, your answers have been my favorite today. I can see your thorough
Yay.
practice. I give it up for him. Let's go, baby.
Nice tactical.
Let's got more happy comments. Keep it simple, stupid. You killed it, guys.
Yeah, I want
Yes.
to know for anybody. Let's see who we still got. Who would want to come to a treat like this?
Yeah, go ahead, put it in the
come,
comments.
Like, hang out for the weekend and figure out kind of ways to advance yourself, not just in objections, but in general. Whether it's tactical approaches to how to strategically knock doors or do different types of marketing. Who would like something like that?
Looks
Go to
like
the
someone
comments.
just wants to come for your smile.
Oh my goodness.
I love you, Jake.
That must be my mom.
Thank you, guys. I'm just here for the Ben Mack smile, baby.
That's right.
Me too.
Thank you.
More
That's
flags.
All right,
Okay,
you guys.
Thorne said, I want to join your circle. 100% in.
Hey,
Thank you.
thank you guys for coming on this. We're super happy that you did this with us. It's fun for us to get back and get to talk with you guys when we do things. These types of comments really feed us and drive us. So thank you very much for being here.
Yeah, thanks,
Yeah.
guys. I'm gonna go back and take a nap. So much love. Happy Sunday, everybody.
Yeah, happy Sunday.
We out, guys.
Peace.
Peace.